XT. You hear that? Oh, it looks like we just got beat down to Deathworks. XT's actually disappeared. But beatdown, Pantheon's a Chad pick. Okay, I've been saying this for months. Everyone's been making fun of me. And now DK Crew's even picking it up. What's up with that?
Did I make fun of you for that? I don't even. I make fun
I'm
of you
very
for a lot of
defensive.
stuff. You know, you gotta narrow it down a little bit. That's
Yeah, you know what? That's actually fair. I just assume because I've heard it from so many. Maybe it's mostly the Academy broadcasters. Deathworks, have you made fun of me for that yet? This split?
I haven't made fun of that. I'm actually a complete Mantheon fan,
Oh,
so
yes.
you don't worry.
I
I'm
don't
in
have
your
him,
boat with you.
I think it's a little bit
his
of a
audio
mute
coming
going
through.
on, maybe?
I think the screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was muted
Yeah,
on
you
Discord.
got
They
it.
heard me on stream. But I said I am a
okay.
Mantheon fan, so I am in your boat,
Mantheon.
Steve. Don't worry.
Oh, let's go. That's perfect. I love it. All right. Well, hey, maybe I was feeling defensive for nothing. But with that said,
We're here
that is
for you,
Golden Guardians.
Kangas.
Thank
We're supporting
you. This is what I've needed. All split. I feel like I've been fighting everybody on broadcast.
Well, stop being a jabroni and we can just be friends, man. Come on.
Yeah, all right, there we go. Wow, this has turned into a lot of brotherly love. This is fantastic. Before we get out of hand, though, let's go on to our next series of the day. Because if you're an Evil Geniuses fan, well, boy, do we have a surprise for you. Or probably not a surprise because you most likely saw the top of the show and the schedule. We have another Evil Geniuses team ahead of us. We have Evil Geniuses Academy going up against CLG Faith. You can see it right below here. And I believe that we'll get XT back in to join us as well. XT, I missed you, man. I'm happy that we got you back. What are your thoughts on Pantheon support? Is it Chad or is it bad?
I mean, it really depends on what player is playing it. You know, if it's someone who's maybe Academy level or LCS level, I think it's a pretty good pick. But if it's someone like, you know, probably Kangas level or something, I'm not really too sure if it can do or not. It really depends.
I absolutely knew it. Well, let's talk about the teams ahead of us, though, and get out of my champion pool, because CLG Faith, the first roster that we want to talk about. Beatdown, I'm going to pass this right over to you as our representative from the Proving Grounds Circuit Qualifiers. Why should we be excited about this roster?
A lot of reasons. I think for the first part, when they first joined PGCQ in summer, CLG Faith went through some struggles. And the fact that they got their roster together pretty last second, things were going pretty tough for them. The performances weren't amazing, but they scaled up. And a lot of us were kind of expecting that as time went on because we knew this. And it did start to come through. I mean, you look at the solo laners from this team. These are players I really like to look at and highlight. And of course, the addition of Rose Thorn, who's still absolutely an Academy level jungler, just playing down here, slumming it with us, an amateur. I mean, we as the casters, we're here for it, but at the same time, it's like, damn.
I gotta say, I gotta give you a little bit of information here, Beatdown. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
I'm listening.
Rose Thorn's got kind of a cracked win rate against Evil Geniuses Academy in particular, because he played a lot of Academy games in spring and even in Proving Grounds, and we actually have that. He is undefeated against Evil Geniuses Academy in 2022 when he's in the jungle role.
Yes.
He has one loss when he rolls off the support. So we don't talk about that one.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
I mean, are we taking that one seriously, though? Like, are we really taking that one seriously? He's undefeated in my eye. Like, you know,
that's what we want to focus on, right? That's our narrative here.
I agree. Hey, man, whatever fits our narrative, right? That's how it works.
But Rose Thorn, he's the player a lot of people might be aware of, but the player that we want to highlight going into this match is actually one of the newer players in Draco. XT, I'm going to have you talk me through Draco as we take a look at his player card and maybe some of the fun facts, because again, no Scouting Guards appearances, no Academy splits, very new player to the scene.
Yeah, if there is one player on CLG Faith that has definitely taken the scene by storm, it's probably going to be Draco. This guy is an absolute beast in the top lane, and if there's one really fun fact that you want to see, out of the 24 games he's played, 21 of those games, Fiora has been banned against him, and the 2 times he's been able to get Fiora, he's won with both of them. Sadly, we don't have footage of it because those were off-streamed games, but Draco has absolutely been, you know, his growth in the top lane role has been pretty instrumental. He's definitely played carries non-stop, stuff like the Gwen, stuff like the Camille, even the game plan, right? And he's always been a consistent performer, I think, for CLG Faith. And with the addition of Roastar, I think he's only gotten better from here as he's just still growing as a player. He's, you know, definitely just has time to time. He's getting solo kills whenever he wants, and he's making people respect his role and putting a lot of pressure into topside. CLG Faith with Draco, in the top lane, it's just been an absolute blast to watch. And not to mention, they have some of the sickest team fights in the tournament, in my opinion.
I've never heard of a player with that crazy of a champ stat. 21 games banned of one champion out of 24 that were played. Now, I will say, as we look at Evil Genius Academy's roster, though,
Oh, yeah.
personally, I'm not sure Surdy is somebody who's going to be afraid of something like that. So I don't know. What do you think, Dastorix? Are EGA also going to ban it, or is Surdy the type of player who's going to be like, nah, bring it on, bring it on. I can take it.
You know what? I think he's going to say bring it on. I think he's going to say bring it on because we do have some pre-established history over on that top side. Draco and Surdy, good friends. We were talking about Camille just a second ago. XT was one of the best Camilles is Draco. One of the other best Camilles is also Surdy. So very similar playstyles these two do have. And with the way that Evil Geniuses have been playing, especially at the end of the regular Academy season, they've been looking good. I don't think they're going to feel too contested about what's standing in front of them right now.
I think that Evil Geniuses Academy is the team. We've had a team like this pretty much every split ever since Proving Grounds was first established back in spring of 2021, where they don't have the best end of regular season record, but they're a team that we expect to be able to make a deeper run in Proving Grounds. It feels like Evil Geniuses Academy are always one of those teams, whether it's spring or summer. But with that said, Pick and Ban is ready. Let's see how far they can run or if their journey ends here. Destrix, beatdown. Take it away.
All right, the double dose of Evil Geniuses now going into CLG Faith, and this is the match I'm kind of hyped up for. One, Aaron, I personally love the guy. He's a personality on Twitter. You should definitely follow him on his Twitter because he does some of the best posts you can have out there. And of course, Rosethorn, you had a lot of good things to say about him. Well, I do too because he spent some time in Academy this summer subbing in while Kevy was still looking to join up with the roster, and he looked absolutely fantastic. I think Rosethorn is definitely a stud when it comes to the jungle role, both amateur and Academy.
Agreed, and we're already seeing it too. The Fiora ban has come through onto Draco, and I agree. And the thing too with Rosethorn has been looking so good since he joined Amateur. It was a little bumpy at the beginning, but what was so enjoyable that it was so enjoyable to watch because of the fact that things were a little bumpy at first, but once they got it together, Deserex, it looked so good because that bit of experience he brings to the roster, the fact that he is a very aggressive, very good playmaker, I think is what allowed CLG Faith to kind of turn things around towards the back half of summer PG qualifiers, and he's able to basically, they were able to qualify for Proving Grounds, even if it's just the play-ins.
Yeah, even with the rough season that they were having, still showing up at the later halves of the season for CLG Faith. And it's a story that's somewhat similar to what's been happening with Evil Geniuses Academy thus far, as they had a very, very strong bounce back off of, their top end of the map in Tomio and Surdy. It feels like just top jungles are the story of what's going on today, Beatdown. Start to focus in onto the draft. We are going to have that very safe, very sustaining Senna Kench lane drafted by CLG Faith.
And on the other side, it's really interesting. Evil Genius Academies, just immediately grabbed their solo laners on R1, R2. You're seeing the double AP. They lock in the Trundle as well. That's honestly going to be pretty good into whatever jungle remains because so many have been taken off the board and maybe some still yet to be banned away. And I think the interesting thing, seeing Aaron and Trevor go for the set of Tom Kench makes a lot of sense. We talk about CLG Faith as a roster, and their solo laners are where a lot of their power lies in terms of early skirmishing and late game team fighting. So having the safe lane where Senna, very neutralizing bot lane, allow the Tom Kench to farm up, to be that frontliner, and allow the Senna to be able to roam around the map and try and help the rest of the players make plays.
Now, EGA playing out this draft with quite a bit of jungle focus coming out of it. Because, again, you're Arthering your Trundle, and now you're just banning away what can challenge that Trundle. So Wukong immediately off the map, Lee Sin immediately off the map. It's going to be a pretty good position for Tomio. As we said, he's been one of those big players to step up for EGA lately.
Right, I agree. Tomio is a player who was actually, he came up from the amateur scene, played from Evil Genius Prodigies, the squad we just watched previously, has looked really good when he was an amateur. Things were slumping a little bit, but I think me and XT were talking about it yesterday, really scaled up towards the later parts of the year, and that improvement is so nice to see because he's a player we had a lot of high expectations for when he left to join Academy.
And now I'm seeing it. I don't like to see it. Yumi has been locked in by EGA. And whoa!
Yeah. Oh!
Whoa!
Okay.
Beat down.
I mean,
My brain is shutting off. I need you to take all this away. I see a fiddlesticks. I'm scared. It's spooky. Help me out here. Help me out. Tell me.
I mean, okay, there's a lot to take away here. The fact that, okay, I love the fiddlesticks. It's actually, I think, pretty good. He kind of fits that mold as a farming jungler. You have that ability to sort of engage as someone to move in with the Tahm Kench and cause fear to the members of Evil Genius Academy, both in and out of game. So it's definitely a spicy one. We haven't seen this one come out very much, and actually I don't think we've seen it at all in Amateur. But I also like the pairing with that Tryndamere, where you have a lot of split pushing power in your solo laners, and the fact that, I mean, Town, he can just run down your bot lane, but I think that's why you see the Ezreal come through here. Kaori is a player who gets a lot of attention from the side of Evil Genius Academy. That's why you're seeing 3 carry ADCs taken out of the picture there, and Kalista, Zeri, and Jinx. So instead of going for the Aphelios, who is a little immobile, you go for the Ezreal because you need to last in these team fights.
Now, as we take some time to load onto the Rift, I do want to give an update of what's going on in Proving Ground so far. So Immortals did take a 2-0 versus DK Crew. You know, to my dismay, sadly, we saw what happened earlier with the Evil Geniuses matchup. Again, another 2-0 going off there. Not Evil Geniuses, excuse me. Evil Geniuses Prodigies versus Golden Guardians Academy. But the one thing that's kind of been coming out from these matches, and that I've been seeing on Twitter a lot, posted by like a lot of reputable coaches such as Jensen Go himself, is Amateur is actually looking a lot better. Even these 2-0s, they are not stomps. They are not just definitive, outright crushes coming through. We saw it in what happened in the last series with Golden Guardians versus EGP, and I even saw little peeks of it with DK Crew. They were bringing a fight to Immortals Academy, so this is suddenly making me feel a little bit better about what Amateur's bringing to the tournament beatdown.
I know, and it's just the beginning, Eric. Of course, we're focusing on our teams for the day, but there are so much amateur teams, especially the ones in the higher end of our standings, can offer. But for the moment, Eric, we're watching CLG Faith versus Evil Geniuses Academy, one of our second matchups of the day here, amateur versus academy, and I can't wait to see it. This is another matchup where, hey, man, if amateur was gonna get a win, maybe it starts here.
Maybe it starts here, but a tough task going up to Evil Geniuses. Even with them falling off, I don't want to say falling off. Falling off is the wrong word. Even with them having a rough season at the start, their upswing as of lately has been looking fantastic. So I still think this is a big challenge for CLG Faith nonetheless, but they do have some good tools to answer that. Again, I think Rosethorn is phenomenal, synergizes well with Draco. Aaron is a lot of fun. You have a safe lane down there to survive Kaori and Smoothie, who are incredibly aggressive. It's hard to dive onto a Senna Kench lane. So good early tools coming out for CLG to withstand some of the onslaught that should be coming out from EGP.
Now, CLG Faith, gonna see how this early game goes for them here. I mean, they have lanes where they can offer a lot of pressure. Again, solo laners are something we focus on a lot for this team. Rosethorn, the player with that a lot of experience coming in from CLG Academy. Now going to show us what he's got on a little more of a unique pick compared to what we've seen the last couple of months in amateur. And yeah, a little, you know, just a smidge. Just a touch. Just I'm trying to think of another way to say little. I got nothing.
I don't know.
A dollop?
I don't know, he's a little bit on the short side. Come on. I'm a little bit of flame here and there.
Yeah. It's all in good fun.
Now, beatdown, I need a breakdown. I'm looking at Rosethorn on this Fiddlesticks. It's been a very, very long time since I've seen one once again. What are we to be expecting to come out? You already mentioned some of the farming that you can do with Fiddlesticks, but once we get level 6, once we get that Crowstorm...
Yeah, Eric, what were you saying? Keep going. I liked it.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I wanted to know expectations before we can even set them. Rosethorn is dead.
Okay, really quick. So, Fiddle's like that kind of jungler, kind of like Karthus, where you do wait till level 6. He's just going to be power farming, and unless a gank is like as free can be, he's going to be spending time in his jungle.
I hate that it had to be Rosethorn because I genuinely think he's a fantastic jungler. This is not the type of play you get from him.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This is just getting it out of the way. You know, the shakes, the warm-ups. It's gonna be different now. Those jungle players, they're gonna be immaculate. Those team fights, those crow storms, spectacular. That's what we're gonna see going forward.
So I don't know. I'm trying to figure something out. So eventually, someone's gonna press tab, right?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think that's gonna do much, except give EGP or EGA, excuse me, a little bit of giggle.
Well, that's it right there. That's the play. That's the outplay.
Oh, you're right. See, false sense of security.
Yeah.
Dude, Rosethorn, this guy, nobody thinks like him, man. How does he do it?
Let's try and get back to the actual analytics.
Yeah. Jokes aside, though. Again, Rosethorn very likely farm till 6. Tomio, on the other hand, is going to have some gank opportunities coming through here. It'll be tough, though, to gank the solo laners of CLG. Both have ways to kind of get around that pillar of ice that he throws up. But I think bot lane is where he's probably going to set his sights on after he recalls, get some itemization coming through in his back pocket. And you got to imagine with this pressure Kaori and Smoothie have been able to get in this bottom lane, I think it makes sense that we're going to see early Dragon stacking come through.
You know, they do have ways around the Pillar of Ice, but I've seen this done before. It could be so exciting if you pull it off right. If you get the Pillar mid-movement, you can interrupt the dash. I've seen it done with a Sonic Wave before. It was absolutely disgusting. It stopped a Baron Still situation back in Academy. So if you time that well enough, you do have that there. And another big thing that comes out is it can interrupt the channel of the Crow Storm. Speaking of, Rosethorn now focusing over to this mid lane, looking to gank on to Saligo, following through, will be down, and First Blood picked up. A simple Q heal will make sure he's not going to go down as well.
Nice and easy, nice flash into the fear from Rosethorn, and like I said, Eric, unless it's free, you don't see many ganks come through from the Fiddle pre-6, but that nice little extra bit of gold onto town, allowing him to snowball, allowing Rosethorn to go for this bit of an invade is really nice here. Oh, Tomio, you can't be here.
Oh, so much damage on the Tomio. And Town can follow through and chase him down. Will not use the Mocking Shout for the slow. Not sure if the angle was already thwarted by Tomio onto that one, but Rosethorn already aggressive with these invades, kicking Tomio out of his own jungle.
Yeah, I like that a lot, because you're going to see it in this replay really quick. It's just a replay of the gank coming through, and again, Saligo is pushed up. Town can go in, like you said, Mocking Cry into the fear. No matter how many summoners you use, the Tryndamere and Fiddlesticks will take you down.
And that heal's so nice to have at the end of these tower dives.
Oh, Surdy?
Go for it. You're not down.
He could kill. Aw, it would have been cool. Would have been cool, but overall, good start for CLG Faith being able to get First Blood here. And I think your top laners just happily farm it out favors Draco just a little bit. Because again, if you see all-ins come through from Evil Genius Prodigies, someone like Tomio trying to go in there, Saligo going for the shuffle, Gwen's really good at absorbing pressure. And Draco getting to scale up to where he wants to be, I think is just fine for what CLG Faith want to be doing here. And at the moment, Tomio hasn't opted to go for the early objective just yet. Even now, he's actually just focusing on the Scuttle Crab. Not sure he's actually going to go for the Dragons. So far, not much action from Evil Genius's Academy.
It's a good plan of attack for CLG Faith. Tomio has been a very, very big facilitator for Evil Geniuses so far this season, especially in their upswing that we've been seeing coming out from them. Surdy, by proxy, has been a big benefactor of that. When Tomio plays well, Surdy plays well on top of that. So being able to stop Tomio in these early stages does give a good attack plan for CLG Faith.
Right, and it's true. Towards the end of the Academy split, Surdy really has been playing very well. And on a playmaker like the Akali, you have so much range to deal with on EGA's side. That is something CLG have to be wary of. And by CLG, realistically, I mean Aaron. For the most part, he is likely going to be the big target here. And that's kind of the nice thing about Senekench. You have that Devour. You also have the Abyssal Dive, forcing Kaori to flash.
Kaori's flash going to be burnt off, and mana completely drained on that end. Tomio fighting it out with Town. Sligo will be waiting in the wings. Pillar goes up, but Draco on the flank. Tomio, this jungle does not belong to you. Rosethorn and the Goon Squad have claimed it for themselves, but now here comes Surdy trying to be the great equalizer. Sligo, Emperor's Divide will push Town right on out, and Draco falls. Finally calls out to his lane, says, please, please, I need some help over here. But it's a birthday party surprise delivered right through Rosethorn, and it will result in the death of Sligo. But now you got to face off with Surdy on this Akali, and Surdy will back off. Takes a while before Akali gets online, so can't challenge the fight right now.
And I'll tell you what, we got another example of Amateur winning on both sides of the map, because look at Kaori. Oh, who's that?
We're still going. We're still going. Even if you're in the Shroud, you can still get damage out from Rosethorn. The shield comes out from Aaron, but finally going to drop. Surdy gets the kill, but gets dropped by Town. Ultimate going to be used. Town still getting that kill. What a trade. What a fight. And ultimately, it's CLG with the lead.
And Kaori got punished by the fact that Smoothie wasn't in lane. Flash not available here for this Ezreal. Actually got killed in the background. That was what I was talking about earlier, by winning on both sides of the map. Strong start for CLG Faith, one of our other amateur representatives here at Proving Grounds. It's a good start here from both of these. Okay, we are going to see the replay. What's up?
Beatdown, what's going on here? What is with CLG Faith and these overly aggressive invades? Because Rosethorn, I don't know what he did. I don't know what Tomio did to Rosethorn, but something's personal is going down.
He owes him money. That's got to be the only explanation here. And it seems like, I mean, they're here to collect. Tomio doesn't get to farm most of his jungle in peace here. We are seeing the replay. There it is. Both Trevor and Aaron flash because they're like, sorry, buddy, you're going down.
Good pickup against the Evil Geniuses Academy bot lane. I almost said Prodigies for a second just as you did.
Yeah.
And with that pickup, it quells the bot lane of Evil Geniuses, which has been historically somewhat feast or famine. Kaori is a good player. He's a good mechanical player, but typically when he has a lead.
Right, and I think the thing to note too is that Senna's, even though you scale really well without actually farming and collecting souls and support gold from the item and things like that, that's the reason I think I really like when hot 2v2s with Senna are able to pick up early kills, because what that means is you are basically accelerating these power spikes that take Senna a little bit of time to actually get to, especially with what we're seeing Aaron build. You see the Noon Quiver, it means he's going for the Kraken Slayer. This is like maximum DPS he's going for in the late game.
Again, this is a hard lane to dive, and you're seeing why. Devour onto Aaron saves him without issue. It's still going to be an ultimate burnt off. The pressure being applied. If you attack this bot lane, you got to bring a lot to take down a Senna Kench.
Right, and that's time. Tomio wasn't able to get anything with it. Ultimate's expended on their end too, specifically that final chapter. Because of that pressure, Surdy realizes, I can't be here. And this is a big deal. We talk about how Draco is scaling, how powerful Gwen is once she starts scaling and get those big late game power spikes. Now, all this pressure means Rosethorn is just letting these turret plates go down. We might see an early turret break and an insane lead for Draco if it comes through, but it's looking like they actually don't want to go for it. Rosethorn's going to back off, hold on to the Herald a little bit longer. Maybe if another opportunity like that presents itself, then they'll drop it to give Draco the first break. Because I like putting resources on the top laner of CLG Faith. Again, he was the player in pre-show. We were highlighting Eric because of how much he's been just tearing it up in amateur individually and how much he's improved this year.
Now, I do want to take a look at the gold for this top side of the matchup you were just talking about. Draco has been trying very hard to equalize those 2 early kills that we got out from Surdy due to that fight we had in the jungle earlier. And for the most part, the laning's been good, getting CS leads. Surdy's doing a good job of a freeze right here, also being able to grab some plates. Yeah, we are seeing just about 200 gold behind, 300 gold behind is Draco, so despite that lead that was picked up by Surdy, not in the trash can just yet, and still bouncing back. Definitely getting a lot of gold back thanks to that presence from Rosethorn.
And speaking of presence, we're getting a large presence from all of CLG Faith onto the top side. If they get that kill onto Surdy, now that first break I was talking about could happen. And this is how CLG continues that snowball here. Surdy has the inkling, but he's a Kali. No flash. You gotta flip. Yep.
It has to flip away because Town would run that down. Especially considering it's a Tryndamere. I mean, you pop that R, you just start screaming. It's the baby rage, but you can't die when you're baby raging. Great tower dives to have. Now, CLG Faith still focusing towards this top side, looking to accelerate Draco, as well as Aaron, who will be the recipients of these plates. Good amount picked up.
Perfect. And again, it just plays into what we were talking about. Your two biggest scaling picks, getting all that extra gold. It won't be the break in the end, however. Aaron and Rose, they want that break right now, Eric.
Ooh, I want to see it. I want to see it. The surprise party Fiddlesticks just waiting to hop out of the bush, but Surdy's not taking the bait beat down, to my dismay.
Yeah, well played. Again, we're talking about how much better he's been playing lately. It just reflects in how he's honestly been able to avoid a lot of ganks so far this game. Only died in that one skirmish after picking up not one, but 2 kills. So keeping up that oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Interesting. Straight up devouring Cowrie. It forces the flash out of Cowrie. But Tomio is now here, and there's no one to save Trevor. He will burn his flash to get alive, but I think that's a trade you're happy with. You got the flash out of Cowrie.
Yeah, I mean, again, Cowrie has been under a lot of pressure just in the 2v2, so when he doesn't have that flash, you can see Aaron and Trevor are not afraid to get on top of him, run him down with everything they got. That's something they could look to take advantage of again, especially because Aaron, with all his escapades across the map, has got some itemization to show for it here, some extra stats to make it that much more reliable. You know what? Some icing on top, Eric. Rosethorn's in the area too.
So is Tomio. We might have a meeting of both of our junglers freeing out is Town. So he will walk out of that lane, but Rosethorn's headed the other way, and now the attention of the junglers grabbed. Aaron caught out by Tomio, looking to get saved by Trevor. The Devour that was used earlier on Cowrie is not online, is not off cooldown. Town showing up. They're looking for Cowrie, but Cowrie does have the mana to take that Arcane Shift. Here comes the Emperor's Divide. Almost catches Rosethorn, who flashes just in the nick of time.
Pretty nicely played there for Evil Geniuses Academy. Nice catch out and some gold back into their pockets there. It's actually enough pressure that they may be able to take this dragon, but instead, Tomio's opting for pressure. Oh!
The Crow Storm is used, but Cleanse gonna be burnt right away from Cowrie to negate that fear. It's another Summoner spell burnt, another resource down for Cowrie. CLG Faith are gonna start playing towards this Drake. Smoothie attached to Tomio, still fighting for positioning over there as Evil Geniuses will have priority in the mid lane.
And the quick shift back into mid means they aren't going to lose the turret just yet. But Trevor, if he's not careful, is going to lose his life. But look, Draco is still here.
Okay. This is a solo lane now. Show it up. Cowrie almost gets dropped by Draco. Now Aaron and the rest of the CLG Cavalry ready to join the fight. Town waiting in the wings, though. Not going to continue. Tomio a little bit low here, and so is Cowrie. And this has some implications coming into the situation that we're in, as Dragon is available. No one's really able to get positioning on it, though.
Right, and so EGA, they don't have the option to go for it here. And CLG, I don't think they really care. At this point now, with Draco respawning, heading back topside, Rosethorn has camps he has to deal with here. I think you'd much rather set yourself up for the Rift Herald that's coming up very, very soon, because that's how you keep this snowball going here. CLG, or EGA rather, doing a good job getting gold back in their pocket, picking off key squishy members of the CLG Faith. But Eric, you get Herald, you hold on to this gold lead you have, which is almost 3k, and you get that top turret broken so Draco can move around the map more freely. You can still keep control.
And it will be the second Herald, the chonky one, much more beefy. Evil Geniuses going for the dragon condition onto this one. They'll be starting it up, and that response is quite easy for Rosethorn. They want to focus on the Herald, they want to do the plays you just mentioned. Let's free up Draco. Let's get him a good influx of gold and make sure that Surdy doesn't have a lead over there.
And speaking of leads too, it's not just Draco who they're looking to get a lead, it's Rosethorn. The power farming he's done, the invading he's done taking camps away, it's gotten him a decent farm lead over Tomio, and that's going to be pretty impactful because as he grows in AP, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage with that Crow Storm. Get the fear.
Here comes the Crow Storm, utilized as Rosethorn hops in, but gets pushed by the Emperor's Divide, still holding that ground with the Hourglass. A big Devour picked up by Trevor will keep Rosethorn alive. And with Cowrie down, Surdy has to make big hero plays alongside Soligo, and Evil Geniuses just don't like their chances.
That's just a nice and easy 1-0 there for CLG Faith, and a guaranteed control over Rift Herald number 2, the beefier one, the tankier one. Like you said, Eric, a really nice play coming through from CLG. Marvelous use of the Devour from Trevor, who I think has honestly been playing really well, and we'll get to that actually in a second here. And this is the catch out that I love. Even though they spotted Rosethorn before the channel went through, so nobody was actually feared. Him buying time with the stopwatch and still having the damage going to get devoured, set up for the soul laners. Again, it's Draco in town. They're doing all the damage.
Hell and high water will not stop Trevor from saving Rosethorn there. You can see that Evil Geniuses threw the kitchen sink, even a pillar on top of that kitchen sink to try and stop that situation, but Trevor so quick there on the recovery to make sure CLG Faith are not going to lose out on that trade. And again, they grabbed Cowrie. This Ezreal hasn't been looking as good. Cowrie is kind of falling into the famine stages that we've had in the past from Evil Geniuses, that we've been so critical in the past of Evil Geniuses.
That's right, all that pressure, and honestly, a lot of it being in the 2v2. Aaron, Trevor, punishing Cowrie's mispositions when Smoothie's not in lane has gotten them so much value. And it was a big part of why CLG been able to get all this pressure all across the map. EGA trying to commit all they can to get this mid-tier 1 so they can open up the map, have an easier time setting up deep vision like they have started to do already. But, I mean, I want to say they haven't done it yet, but that turret's gone. You could sneeze on it.
Sorry, I had a little giggle there, because it's one of the funniest moments of betrayal that you can have when you're playing against a Senna. And you get caught by the snare and just walk next to your teammate and snare them as well.
It's worse when you flash into them.
We've had that happen in Academy.
Oh my! I may have seen that game. I feel like I remember that.
Oh man, not a fun situation. Not a fun situation.
It feels bad. You know, it's self-preservation. That's what it is at the end of the day.
The CLG Faith, we're almost headed towards that 20-minute point, and it's a strong lead. It's a very strong lead established. About 4K separating these teams right now, and CLG Faith are the ones in the driver's seat for the most part. Looking at Draco, who's gotten a pretty good amount of gold for him, but Sturdy is out farming him quite a bit. It's kind of the nature of that lane being so shoved in. And I think that sets up a point of play for Evil Geniuses. Sturdy's still scaling. Sturdy's farming well.
One thing I will say for Evil Geniuses Academy members are we're seeing mythics start to come through all across the board. Oh, hold that thought.
Oh. I said his name. Sturdy looking to hop onto Draco. Whew, that was so close. You know Sturdy would have gone for it.
Oh, yeah. Would have been a nice E2. And so it would probably be a solo kill, but I like the attempt from the top lane of Evil Genius Academy. And I'll tell you what, with one good attempt comes another Deserex. Oh, the rocket belt to stop the back. Okay, I thought he was stalling so they would fight him, but they're leaving him alone.
No, just stalling and wasting his time on this map, but with that time wasted and even keeping Tomio down there, it gives CLG Faith a window to just go take the mid lane. And that's a significant tower to take. It opens up the map a little bit more for CLG Faith to place that forward vision. Now Rosethorn will bump in to the rest of Evil Geniuses Academy. As the Shrima Shuffle goes out, teleport's going to be channeled both ways. Draco will meet up with the squad. Sturdy now coming out of the flank. Town is here. A 5 stack for both teams as Rosethorn goes back to farming. But no one willing to hop in. Sturdy waiting on the flank right now. Town over the wall. Burst of damage onto Town. He has the Undying Rage, so it would not be an assassination to grab Sturdy. Now looking for Rosethorn. Abyssal Dive comes out. But Trevor defends his jungler.
Right, but now, the thing going for you is the pressure of dropping that Rift Herald. Doesn't get the charge onto the turret. But it does kind of pull EGA's attention around a bit. But now, CLG Faith not in a good position to be able to actually contest this dragon, but they have to. It's going to be Hextech Soul Point. If they don't do something about it, CLG Faith have a lot of ults to work with.
Oh, a lot of poke coming in there from the True Shot Barrage combo. Abyssal Dive for a disengage coming out from Trevor, and instantly CLG realize they have no agency in this area. This dragon is forfeit. Evil Geniuses will claim dragon number 3, as you said, the Hextech.
Yeah, Evil Geniuses Academy did a good job keeping CLG Faith out of that bottom side river. A lot of pressure from Tomio. Early forcing out Trevor's Devour, I think, is the biggest thing. When that is on cooldown, CLG Faith have to be a little more careful in these skirmishes and team fights, Eric, because you're looking at Aaron, you're looking at Rosethorn at times, who are very squishy members of the team, but put out a lot of DPS. And those are the members who you want to be able to kind of go balls to the walls as much as possible before one of them can get nice and bailed out and the fight can continue. But you force it out beforehand, CLG can't play how they like.
So the Devour, it's a big tool for CLG Faith. It's got to protect these crucial members onto the back line. We'll see if Trevor can stand up to that situation and really step up to continue this momentum that we've had from CLG Faith, because it's still 3K into their favor. Evil Geniuses have kind of stagnated this quite a bit. And you're starting to see that it's CLG Faith who are now starting to fall on the back foot. The forward vision has ceased. They're kind of playing towards their side of the map now, while Evil Geniuses are starting to place that forward vision. As you can see, deep jungle wards being placed.
So here's the thing that happens sometimes, is that I think CLG Faith have done a good job playing the map and giving up Dragon Prio for Rift Herald and control over the top side, playing for Draco. But what happens is that you give away 2 Drakes, and Evil Genius Academy had the opportunity to be able to stack. And all it took was one good fight, which we just saw about a minute ago, and it got them the soul point. Now, that soul is their way back into this game. CLG Faith are now in a position where they need to get control of the map, and soon, so that they'll be able to contest it.
I want to commend the patience of Town. In that little skirmish with Surdy, Surdy burnt Ignite. The goal there was to just get the Undying Rage. Get that out of the way. And then you have a potential setup. Yeah, potential setup for the kill right there. But Town, he bides his time well. He's very patient with it. Will still have that tool available as alongside his summoner spells for the next fight, which looks like Evil Geniuses are trying to get position around this dragon area, this Baron area.
And it's just about getting the Scuttle Crab here. I don't think we're going to see an early Baron start just yet. It would be dangerous. Now, we just take a look. You're seeing crucial item spikes coming through from members of Evil Genius Academy all across the board here. So even though the gold lead is looking really good in EGA's, against EGA. Oh my god, the big auto?
Oh man, Surdy. Okay. Surdy just hopping right onto Draco. As we said, they're buddies, so yeah. It definitely feels good to be able to clown on one of your buds like that, especially going from a solo queue aspect to a competitive aspect. It's always going to be right there, but Surdy getting the upper hand of this, a lot of that due to the early laning that he was able to have, getting those CS leads, playing to that against Draco.
I was going to say, you can see it too. Still, 30 CS up 2 kills. It's an insane lead that he has alone here. And I think I want to talk about too is that I remember casting Surdy when I was newer to Amateur last year, and he was on Evil Genius Prodigies. And we talk about this org. They promote internally so often here. And you know what I used to call Surdy?
What?
Mr. Top Gap himself. Because this is the stuff he would always do, man.
I can clearly see it as day, even coming into the summer season. We had high expectations for Surdy. He didn't live up to them right away, but now we're starting to see that again. Now we're starting to see the Surdy of old. He is scaling people down.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see it here. As like I was saying earlier, really crucial item spikes, kind of making the goal lead that CLG Faith have not as impactful as it may look if you just look at the aggregate goal difference between these two teams. You look Surdy, Soligo, Kaori, all at major 2-item spikes, and we're seeing a lot of stopwatches come through on Evil Genius Academy side. CLG Faith are actually in a lot of trouble going into this next dragon because they have to team fight this almost perfectly if they want to deny that dragon soul. There's very little room for error.
And a lot of that starts with vision. Look at the deep vision that's being applied by Evil Geniuses Academy. This is because of Rosethorn. They don't want Rosethorn getting these creative angles in with the Crowstorm that can devastate these team fights. Fiddlestick's so good in that scenario. But Evil Geniuses, they have Surdy on the flank here. They're spotting out Rosethorn. Looking to dive onto him. Surdy will hop right in. Going for the backline. Gets silenced as part of the process. Will go gold. And Kaori on the flank. Hops in as well. Has Smoothie dropping the ultimate. And Tomio chomps onto one. Will take down Trevor. Soligo onto the backline. Emperor Survive goes out, but Rosethorn will not be caught. The Hourglass a little bit too fast. Now the Undying Rage being used. Town backing out, goes golden as well to try and survive Kaori. Kaori flashes forward, but Rosethorn scores one right onto Surdy. Rosethorn gets dropped by Kaori. Draco continuing onto Soligo, but Soligo will get underneath his own tower. A double kill picked up by Kaori as it's chaos all over the map. Evil Geniuses net 1 kill ahead in all of the dismay.
And this was not how or where I thought this fight was going to start, but here we are, Eric, and it ends up coming out on EGA end up coming out on top in a lot of it. Kaori, now we have the Ezreal Yuumi in all its glory, making it so difficult to take down this Ezreal, especially because he had Flash in that team fight. And even though no junglers were up, this should still be EGA's Dragon. Rollstorm only spawning just now, and there is no way, even with Hex Gates, is he going to be able to do anything about this.
Oh, that is Hex Soul acquired by EGA. And you're seeing the momentum shift so heavily now. Surdy with a deep dive onto Draco. Trevor completely in no man's land. This is becoming Evil Geniuses Academy's game. It was a 3K deficit in favor of CLG. Now that's being shrunk, and with one more kill picked up by Kaori's Mystic Shot. No, we still got more going. Now the counteroffensive being called by CLG Faith. The hop on Atomio, one kill already acquired. Now Rosemore looking to back out of this one. Surdy will return fire and acquire another one. Now Surdy still looking for more onto Draco. The ultimate gonna be popped onto Draco as Kaori popping those Mystic Shots, looking to get the kill onto Draco. Another Mystic Shot found. Kaori will just go straight up for the dive. True Shot Barrage will not find its mark onto Draco, but Evil Geniuses are just styling onto CLG Fate.
And this is it. This is their way back in the game. They've now gained control, Eric. They've narrowed the gold lead and a deficit and have actually managed to take a lead. And they get the soul, that extra burst of damage, attack speed from the individual dragons. It is just unreal. And now you can see it. We talked about it before the fight. The members of CLG Fate wanted to do something about it, but without the full 5, you didn't have a ghost of a chance. And now they are paying for it with more loss of life and more gold gifted over to Evil Genius Academy.
And even with a good attempt at the counteroffensive that we saw here, we saw what the power of Fiddlesticks can do. It was only onto one. And that is the most tragic part about it for CLG Fate. They need these team fights to, well, be team fights. They need Evil Geniuses kind of stacked together to get the most out of this Growth Swarm.
Right, and the fact is, it's hard. Evil Genius Academy don't need to stack. That's the problem. So it's going to be really hard for them to be able to actually find that opportunity. And now Rollstorm, I mean, not any real danger, but is forced out of his own jungle. Oh my god, you're starting to feel the might of Kaori's Mystic Shots is now that he's at 3.5 items. This game has suddenly gotten so much more difficult for CLG Faith.
Yeah, he's past the famine part. It is now time to feast for Kaori. Same thing for Tomio as he takes a chomp onto Draco, now returning fire. Rosethorn, Crowstorm comes out, goes golden, gets a little bit more damage from the AoE of the fight, but it's not enough to take any of the Evil Geniuses down. 2 quick pills picked up on the top side from Evil Geniuses Academy.
And now it's EGA winning on both sides of the map as they get tier 2s. Kaori is knocking on the base's door, and he's going to very easily be able to take this inhibitor. Talon's posturing, but we know it's just posturing. He has no say in whether or not that inhibitor goes down, and Kaori, unencumbered, walks out with the Hex Gates, and it means that now, although he almost went down, you have the Yuumi heals coming through, and the only thing left, oh god, is the Baron.
Man, I think Baron might be the bigger opponent here.
Oh, don't say that. That's so sad.
Oh, you're kidding me. Saligo with the quick hands.
It's just Crown of the Shadow Queen. Huge build from Saligo. It saved him there. And, I mean, even then, it would have just been like, you know, a consolation prize, you know, for Aaron and the rest of CLG Fate, who are in the blender right now. They are down so much gold. Now Kaori, look at this. He can take the most aggressive Hexgate packs ever. They know he's there. Now he's got Tomio with him.
Yeah, Kaori has hit the point where it's like, yeah, I'm in your jungle. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You're doing nothing because I'm in your face, owning the place. Kaori and Tomio leading the charge into CLG Faith. There comes the ultimate, landed flush from Smoothie, and it's another kill for the godlike Kaori as the Shurima shuffle, disgusting from Saligo. 3 down for CLG Faith, and it looks like the closing moments as Evil Geniuses are marching for victory.
And it feels like nothing's going to stop them, Eric. It looks so good for CLG Faith from the beginning of the game all the way until about Dragon Fight number 4. But EGA stand firm, and they say we are not the first one to lose to Amateur. It's going to be 1-0 Evil Genius Academy.
fishing around the fountain as a little bit of a victory lap before you do take this dub. Again, it is a best-of-3 series. It's the play-ins, but you're one step closer for that extra life for Evil Geniuses Academy.
That's what they're playing for here. You made it to the Proving Grounds, but now you're trying to get to the main event, and it does start here. Your back's against the wall as CLG Faith, and I feel like we've seen this movie before, Eric, and I don't like the ending. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we've seen this before. Amateur putting up a good fight in the early stages of the game, but the late game just so handily going over to these Academy squads.
Yeah.
I still think that plays a lot into the infrastructure of what we have in Academy. It's something that we're kind of expecting if we want the health of the ecosystem to be in the right place, but it's still getting exciting seeing some of these amateur teams swing as heavily as they are for these early stages.
Absolutely. I'm really happy on it. Honestly, looking at how CLG Faith played a lot of this game, it was really impressive and some of the best we've seen from them, I think. So you go back to the drawing board. How well you handle this loss, I think, is going to be just as telling here, and I'm excited to see what CLG Faith are going to show us in Game 2. EGA, of course, really nice comeback coming through from them, and it's just, you're probably feeling really great about that going into the second game.
All right, we're going to take a quick break while we get ready for game number 2, but be sure to stay tuned because we have game number 2 of CLG Faith versus Evil Geniuses Academy coming right after.
I don't know. We have to do like something like jiggy, you know? Like something like
I don't know. I don't know.
like I don't know. We can make it simple, but add like a little special like twist to it, you know?
Okay, show me.
I don't know.
Show me what you mean.
We gotta go like this, like this. We can do something like this, and then you pull your pinky, and you go like this.